One thing, obviously, we've talked about over and over again is undersupply. There simply isn't enough housing. Please explain to our viewers, how does undersupply drive up the price of a home?
Sure. So there's prices and there's rents, and it's the same story with both. You list a place for rental. There's a line of 20 people who want to rent the place. That tells the landlord, boy, I didn't charge enough rent. Next time I'm going to raise it. Landlords hear that's what's happening. Rents go up. There's too many people searching for not enough product. Homes, prices are adjustable. They're like auctions, right? You have a listing price, but if there's lots and lots of buyers, everybody knows it can go a lot of ways. People are going to submit higher bids. The selling agent is going to get a second round to squeeze every last bit of valuation out of a lot of buyers. Everybody knows they've got to offer top dollar or they're not going to get the place. Compare that to a situation where there's loads of homes for sale and nobody's looking. Of course, prices and rents are falling in that environment. So we've got too many people looking for not enough homes. That pushes up prices and rents, and that's the essence of our affordability problem.
Now, I assume in an attempt to help home purchasers, first-time home buyers, the federal government enacted the first-time home buyers tax credit. Has that helped the situation at all? Are more Canadians now owning homes as a result of this program?
I don't think very many, and probably a lot of the people who participated in the program would have owned anyway. I think it was a well-intentioned program, though, and possibly important. The timing was lousy, though. It was rolled out in an environment where interest rates were very low relative to where home price growth had been. Not like today when interest rates are 6.5% and prices have fallen over the last year. This was when prices were rising 5-10% a year and interest rates were 1.5%. So I think most people thought this program, which let you borrow less money but give the government a stake in the sale price of your house, they thought, I don't want to give up any of the sale price because inflation of prices is so high and interest rates are so low that giving up interest, that's not much of a benefit. So swapping debt for equity, I think in the long run is a great idea because there's a lot of people who just can't make the payments on homes. It came out at the wrong time. It was probably too small to be worthwhile given the costs of enrollment. But hopefully it's something where the government can create a program that helps the private sector develop products like that. Because I do think in the long run, sharing equity between lenders and borrowers may be the only way to have mass home ownership.
Now, in the previous segments, we've heard the Ontario perspective from Tim Hudak, head of the Ontario Real Estate Association. You're based out of British Columbia. Vancouver is obviously a very hot market. It's the most expensive market in the country. What is the BC government doing to help potential homeowners or even renters in that province?
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of intervention by the province. There's been an expansion of social housing. Several years ago, there were increases in the foreign buyer tax, the speculation and vacancy tax, essentially empty homes taxes. The city of Vancouver has raised to a very high rate and just rolled back a little bit the empty homes tax. So trying to make sure homes are occupied by people who live and work here. That's on the demand side. On the supply side, there was recently a Supply Act, and that had a couple of provisions that were very interesting. One is a sort of naughty list. So municipalities that aren't getting the job done and aren't building enough housing, because each municipality, right, you don't want to build low-income housing in your community. You want other communities to
Right.
get the costs and the density, and you want to have the benefit of quiet amenity. But when every jurisdiction does that, there's no affordable housing. So the government's going to clamp down on that sort of NIMBY behavior by local governments, which I think is a very good idea. The other thing they're talking about is putting a floor on how low density can be in any jurisdiction. So, of course, people can always build a single family home if that's the highest and best use for a property. But that use is going to have to start competing with fourplexes, sixplexes, something like that. We still have to see what actually is rolled out by the province. But again, that's a supply side initiative. Won't do anything in the short run. But over time, getting more land used for multifamily housing should create more affordability here.
Okay, we only have about 20 seconds. Real big question. Should Canadians just get used to renting, becoming renters and not homeowners?
I think the number of people who can afford to be homeowners as a fraction of the population will fall. Best case, we sort of tread water with affordability. There's lots of immigration, which is a great thing, but supply is just not keeping up.